Hello everybody, I'm Andrei Vinokurtsev and I want to present some small shortcut of my last visit to IFSEC 2017. I visited IFSEC for last few years and I want to make some comparison from the years I've seen last year and before, and what is very special in this year and what I can predict to the next year, for example, especially in CCTV. So now if you not see anything here that you would like to see, the show is for 3 days, but I was there for 1 day. Then I couldn't see everything and I can't make shortcut of everything that I've seen there. But most interesting technologies I'm going to present today. Let's start from drones. The drones, I made the integration with drones in Indigo Vision in 2014. As far as you maybe remember, we made full integration with streaming system from the drones that can fly 10 kilometers from the base, and in this range we could stream on with to the control center. Now let's see what I've seen this year. Last year I've not seen in IFSEC any drone at all, which was quite frightening because I've seen no movement to the drone technology, but this year it was a little bit different. It was quite a lot UAV devices on the boost. First was to say is Elistar smart tethering station. They made box that can power up the drone on the sky. In fact, this is a box that replaces the battery that most of the time is enough for 10-20 minutes, but this box is with a cord. The box is on the ground, the drone is on the air, and the cord is 100 meters. Now we need to connect this box to some external source, but in fact the drone can fly 10 hours. However, I don't think the rotors and motors can survive 10 hours. Then possibly after 1 or 2 hours it will just drop from there. But it's quite interesting. Now the second one is a drone tracker that very useful for CCTV technology, for example, because this is a box installed on the roof, and then it detects the drone if it's come to the cross the wire or cross the fence, and the alert sends to the control center. It's easy to integrate with CCTV VMS system, and it could be very useful for CCTV. Now the next one is to get control of the drone. This is device just shut up the connection between the controller of the drone, and then once you get control of the drone you can actually just land it. Very useful as well. I was like it, and it's not so heavy. It's just 2 or 3 kilograms. Now, as I said, in 2016 I've not seen a lot of drones on the IFSEC, in 2015 as well, but this time most of the companies try to present the own flying device. However, this device can fly only, it can't stream to the control center or any VMS, it just can fly. Then for the hobbyist it's possibly good, but very expensive. Now, but this one is possibly replacement for the drone in our 2018. I don't see drones going to survive next year anyway, because of all the obstacles on the road. Now, the next one is 4K. 4K, yes, 4K is quite interesting technology, or instant resolution that going forward. We would like to see 8K anyway, but this time wasn't so huge interest in 4K, because 2 years ago and a year ago every boost was we have 4K, just go and buy, and then a lot of demonstration of 4K. Now most of the company do have 4K, then I do see that most of the companies should have 4K because it's replacement of 1080p. However, because of some limitation, hardware limitation like 4K monitors and software limitation, decoders quite slow, storage limitations that is most of the time is 8 to 12 meg, and the cost of 4K as well, and not much companies trying to push it and sell it. We'll see how it's going on. I still think it will go forward in 2018 and 2019. We will see replacement of 1080p anyway. Then 4K, yes, I've seen a lot. It should be there. It's possibly going forward. H.265. H.265. Yes, I was very fan of H.265 in 2013 when it was released as a first draft. I would like to see it implemented and integrated everywhere. However, as a standard issue of H.265 is license costs, resolution limitation. We won't much see 1080p improvement with H.265 by comparing to H.264. First, H.265 is make quite slow decoder, then VMSs will not survive so much. No hardware implementation of H.265 yet, therefore we don't see it on mobile devices anyway. It's very limited number of H.265 decoders available, and the cameras which make H.265 is quite hardly surviving right now. However, H.265 plus, and I've seen H.265 plus, and it doesn't matter how many pluses you put after H.265. The plus mean, in the short word, it's some extra optimization. It's some removal of dynamic group or dynamic region of interest or flexible multi-frame reference. It's quite a lot behind this. Then if the VMS can't support it, it will just be failure. Even if the camera can produce it and VMS can't support it, who actually need it if you make this? And the license cost is one of the big penalty for H.265. As a reason, I don't see it implemented very well yet in 2017. I've not seen in 2016 as well. It might take time. I will not recommend to rush and make H.265 right now, especially with resolution 1080p. If you're going back to 4K, 4K already have very limitation in decoder stage. If you'll take H.265 and make 4K, you possibly will hard survive it even more, and the limitation be even higher than with H.264 4K. Then we'll see in 2018, possibly the company will move to this. I hardly believe it be very well implemented in 1 year time. Okay guys, now body worn camera. I've seen it quite a lot. With last 3-4 years it's just going forward, and different companies trying to make it bigger, smaller, different types, different sizes. It's even NVR implemented. I do like this technology. It's very mobile. It can record the footage on the go. The police very helpful to have it. I do lover of this technology. I think it will go forward only. Every policeman will have it at some point, even if it have some limitation of how to transfer the data from the body worn camera to the station and how securely to make it available just for the companies that want to record it, and that nobody can crack it. Then it's some way to go, some step for improvement. However, I do see it's very good investment in the future if you plan for body worn camera. Now this was for the body worn cameras. 360 view. 360 view is quite interesting because last 2 years it wasn't so big improvement with 360 view. However, this year its first is more multi-sensor cameras available already, some panoramic view like wide angles with 3-4 sensors, and 360 view with 6-8 sensors camera plus PTZ, or as you understand, fisheye cameras, which is 360 view by default, or even 360 mirror view camera, which I'm going to touch it after. what it is. But let's see the camera with 8 sensors, 360 view, and the PTZ in center here. Then we can see all 360 plus PTZ. Why we need PTZ? It's why we need PTZ is just for this reason. We can see splicing of the 8 sensors here, for example. By clicking on one of the splice, the PTZ turn and see it in detail. Now all of this integration is very, very complicated because PTZ doesn't know about sensor. In standard situation with standard VMS you can't do it. You need to take the SDK, implement it, and it's extremely complicated. I don't think it will go forward so easily. However, let's go back to 360. However, the panoramic and multi-sensor cameras, it might get a boost in the next year, because anyway, if they will make some 2-3 sensor replacing one, it's be more expensive, but might take a good quality image at the end. Then yes, we've seen these 2 slides. Let's see the next one, which is fisheye. Fisheye, it was some battle with the companies for last few years. However, fisheye was getting down with the time. Most of the companies do have fisheye and presenting fisheye as not flagship product, because the fisheye have problem as actually standard natural problem of the roped image. The roped image has a poor quality. Even if you take the good fisheye with new technology, it still be corner distortion after the roping. And if anybody expected the ROP technology is easy, it's never come as easy. Frame rate and resolution very, very small after the roping. Now 360 eye mirror camera is still need the roping, and it's one sensor with mirror in the center, therefore you lose the center. However, you pay less because this is not fisheye camera. This 360 mirror camera, and you still need the roping, but you can get it with one sensor only. Might be cheaper solution. I don't see it very good solution going forward. However, it's what we have. At what I see this year, it's quite interesting to foresee this technology going forward. Now, next one, Indigo Vision. Indigo Vision makes some good technology this year called Cyber Vigilant device that make it more secure, send alert to the VMS in case somebody else that not need to see the camera or not need to connect to the camera or to the VMS get cracking of this. Then quite interesting technology was presented this year. 4K cameras was presented this year in Indigo Vision with high bitrate and high resolution. Panoramic camera with 4 sensors getting to 180 degree panoramic wide angle view, and thermal and analytic together, which quite interesting technology. I've seen a lot of thermal cameras this year as well. I'm going to touch it after, and Indigo Vision presented thermal. Now body worn cameras as well, Starlight technology. If you remember what is Starlight technology take very boosty with year and year. I've seen it last year, this year is quite a lot. Who don't know what is Starlight, then see from the left, this is the image in complete dark room, and its camera moved to day and night mode. However, you can see the colors that camera created, which is quite very interesting because it's not black and white first, and it's not grayscale as a second, and it's a complete dark room. And this is interceptor. Now the special cameras this year, I've seen it's most of the company trying, some of the company pushing Starlight technology, as I told you. it's quite interesting. I do see a lot potential in this technology, because the day-night mode, as you know, in CCTV is quite difficult technology with a lot of noise, need a lot of filters behind this, and Starlight is make it much easier, colors seen, and you can see the quite good details. And a Starlight is maybe substitute of this, is low light and ultra low light, which might send the same but called differently. I've seen a lot thermal sensors together with normal one, which mean you can why we needed this. For example, in the day and night mode, on the 100-meter distance, somebody black coming in black clothes, and the camera hardly can understand that this is actually moving object or anything. With the thermal view, you can understand that this is actually the object moving and have like whatever is the object thermal can detect. Anyway, thermal have much smaller resolution than standard sensor, which make it little bit difficult, but higher thermal resolution is possibly to see now, and is getting growing with the time, which is possibly good potential for the next couple of years. Now, I've seen long range and super long range cameras with like this. I don't know who actually needs this. It's quite a big beast, which is can see the object in 10 km range. Don't know where it's going to be, but this is one sensor is actually laser, one is a sensor. For me, what I've seen interesting is a motor that can be used on the camera, and this motor doesn't have any physical friction, because this is magnetic field generated between this and this device, which actually mean you only have few chords then saying you XY by sending what the XY position, and because it's no friction, it can work years and years and years without actually damaging the motor. Company called, what the company called, if you want to know, is the Servo Torque, this technology. Now, more special, I've seen Armadillo. Armadillo is from the right side, quite interesting technology, because it's actually simple camera, simple device that can left on the side for 4 years with a battery without any charge needed, and when somebody coming to the fence or crossing the fence and start shout who you are, I'm going to call to police, it's just, and then if the object going forward, it start to record 10 or 20 minutes, whatever it's needed. Once the alert logged, somebody can come and take the incident to his NVR, and it can be left on site for 4 years without recharge. Now, a laser camera is one of the examples. It's not just how many companies now trying to make the laser camera. What good in laser camera is good substitute of the IR. It's more expensive, of course. One of the sensor is a laser, as you understand. The detection, for example, it can detect for 4 km range, observe to 1.5 km, recognize the object in 700 meters, which is quite good, and identify in 300 meters, which need to quite good IR to make it possible. You can substitute it with a laser. And radar cameras, possibly it's quite expensive now one, but what actually radar cameras giving us, for example, you don't need to install the fence detector. The radar can just detect where the object crossed, and then the PTZ can turn to this object and capture it, which make it quite useful instead of installing very complicated equipment from different sites, different places. You can take the one radar with, for example, round beam or white bin and detect the object cross fences. What next? Analytic. Analytic, I can see it every year. Every year it's almost the same. The analytic going forward and maybe dying, but it's still not dying even after 10 years. I've seen software solution anyway sold and hardware solutions still sold. The people need analytic, however it's quite expensive. It's very complicated system if you buy software solution, because you need the server and SDK and to understand the alerts, how to draw it. It's most work on very small resolutions. They do need to improve analytic, because SD is already not this worth moving to 1080p, 4K, 8K in the future. I understand why it's so difficult to make proper analytic. Hardware solution, which is on the cameras, is mostly you need SDK to understand the alerts, and the VMS should understand the alerts, which make it hard to sell as well. Okay, it's look all for today. You can write me any question you want, I will answer. This was Andrei Vinokurtsev, and thank you very much for listening me.